Hello there, people. Welcome back to the Eagle Bite 83 channel where the past never dies. I'm sorry for the weirdness there. Apparently, I had not created the roleplay review source. I don't know if it's like a remnant of the drive crash and everything that was lost when that happened, but at least I'm back now, and we can do this properly. The next episode that we're going to be doing is episode... let me just see where it is real quick. Archive files, video, everything for the series. The next episode is going to be episode 25. Yeah, we're at 25. Episode 25, Double Trouble. It's actually one of the better episodes, especially considering what happens at the end. Because the end, I'm actually really proud of the end. So when we start this, me, who plays Robin Burley, and my brother Rory Burley have already backtracked and returned home to our old stomping grounds where Koala, or Dex, was murdered by Rory because he was turning into a mutant. And we're still trying to find Warlock to make him pay for turning Dex into a mutant, but we have no idea where he is. So let's get this going, shall we? Screen capture. Nice to see you here, Mr. Old Machine. Good to have you with us. Alright, let's bring this up, shall we? Yes, we shall. Oh, hang on. There we go. Alright, switch it. Okay. Switching over, here we go. Okie dokie. Let's do this. So this is commentary, me doing commentary on my old videos. Waking up in Dex's old house. It's very pixelated when it's dark. As darkness had fallen, Rory had yet to come back from his supply run, and I decided to try to get some sleep while waiting for him. However, aching bones convinced me that sleeping on the cold floor was now something that I'd fallen out of practice with, and my body more or less forced me to abandon the hunt for sleep. So I decided to tend the stash in Dex's old house and prepare for the journey back to our new home instead. I was in the middle of it when I heard something from outside.
Hello?
Hello? What's going on?
Hello? You got a well around here, right?
Yeah, it's down the road.
Is that Robin?
Yeah, it is.
I know your voice is Dobby.
Dobby! Dobby was still part of the Arbiters, so, you know, a little bit iffy. Episode 25, Double Trouble. What are you doing here?
I was just coming through. I've been to Paris Island.
Ah, okay. Gotcha, alright. You need any help?
No, I just need to fill my canteen. But your well is around here, right?
Yeah. It's just like a stone's throw, like down the road. It's by the
Okay, nice.
food stand.
How's things with you anyway?
It's going good. Just sorting some shit up. We moved from this place a while ago, so Just looking at the last things that we left here. Um, I'm waiting for my bro as well. Now that he was away from his Arbiter buddies, Dobby seemed to be a little bit more willing to talk to me about him joining them.
Yeah, I've recently joined the Arbiters.
Yeah, what? How did that come to pass?
Just to reiterate or to remind you that the Arbiters was a group that were a little bit sketchy. They robbed people, but they could also be they switched back and forth. Sometimes they were cool with you, other times they would rob you blind. And a lot of people who were in the Arbiters were a bit, like they wanted to play psychos and stuff like that.
I've been friends with them for a long time.
Okay.
Ever since I first met you, I started to get to know them.
Yeah, I remember. You were like real close buddies with Skip.
Skip was a strange one, but he was the first person I really met on the island, and
Yeah.
he helped me get north. He took me up to their base, and they were quite chilled with me. And so since then, I just had quite a bit of trust for Skip.
Notice that I'm staying inside the house. I'm still a little bit, careful. I don't really want to leave. We have boarded up the door so nobody can come in, but I wasn't too afraid that Dobby was going to do anything because we knew each other from a while back, but still, I'm a little bit like, oh, he just came up on our house.
But he ended up joining the Arbiters, and
Or the old house, I should say.
All right.
he fell out of favor, I believe. I was with Bastion for a little bit.
If you don't remember, I'm just saying to everybody, Bastion was a pretty standard good guy group. They helped anybody who came to their place, and Harold was a good leader, and he was actually one of the main driving forces of trying to fight back the mutants that were populating the server.
Hang on. Yeah, so how's life treating you with the Arbiters?
Yeah, they're a great bunch. They're not friendly with the mutants, whereas everyone else seems to suck up to them.
Really? Oh, I've completely missed
Yeah.
that. Like, okay, what's everybody trying to do? Like,
Well, most people have been feeding them.
oh. But isn't that like just out of necessity because they believe they can't win?
I guess so, we just won't bend the knee to them.
Okay. Yeah, that's understandable.
Interesting.
Interesting. We hadn't heard anything about larger groups voluntarily catering to the mutants' needs. Of course, this could just be Arbiter bravado talking. The expression bending the knee specifically reeked of a belittling attitude towards other factions, while at the same time generalizing and clumping multiple groups together, possibly without proper intel. I chose to take this information with a grain of salt.
Do you want the ketchup?
Nah. Go ahead.
Oh, it's a personal favourite.
Okay. Alright. Okay, so Corey, you, and who else joined Bastion?
Michael.
Oh, right, Michael. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we were a trio. Joined Bastion, but then I've just come back to the island, and Bastion has pretty much all but disappeared. I think Harold's the only one left.
Yeah. Like, this is our old place, like, where we used to live, like, right over there. That's like our homestead, our childhood home.
Oh, you grew up here?
Yeah. This is like home turf.
We basically, when we started playing on the server, it was like we basically just picked that house and said, yeah, we grew up in this house. Me and Rory, who was played by Mehdi, and eventually Dex would join us as our cousin. So we were like a family.
But, we had to leave after an unfortunate incident happened.
Yeah, just to reiterate that as well, just recapping, we stayed as a trio for a while, and then Dex disappeared for a while, and then he came back, and when he came back, he was completely changed. He was a mutant. and Rory could not take that, and so he ended his life. He shot Dex like where he was laying on the ground. It was like a mercy killing, but Robin, i.e., me, had a little bit trouble accepting that because I was the oldest brother. So I was like, dude, you can't kill our cousin like that. And there hasn't been a schism yet, but it's like building in him, like the resentment towards Rory, his younger brother, because he killed our cousin. So it's very much drama here going on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We had a cousin. Emphasis on had. Um,
I, did he fall victim to the mutants?
Not as such. He fell victim to, I am guessing, the mutant's creator.
Warlock.
Yeah, that fucker.
Do you know much about him?
Not
Warlock was an admin on the server, one of the admins. He was the one who played Warlock. Warlock was like a lore character. He was the one orchestrating everything, every like evil thing that happened on the server. Usually that was Warlock's doing, but he was also very hard to find because the admins wanted him to stick around, to be, this mythological figure. So he rarely played, but everybody talked about Warlock. He became such a legend, and everybody tried to find him. Some wanted to join him. Some wanted to become, mutants and whatnot. Others wanted to take him down. And our family, the Burley family specifically, was after. We also wanted to find him because we wanted revenge for what he did to Dex. He kidnapped Dex, our cousin, and forcefully changed him to a mutant.
and not like what he is, what kind of person he is, but I know that, well, basically we're looking for him, and so I gather is a lot of people on the island.
You'd be surprised. Very few were looking for him.
Very few,
Yeah.
really.
There's a lot of people that will say that they're enemies with the mutants, but I think a lot of groups are going to try and take advantage of them.
Okay.
There were some groups that hated mutants and wanted to kill them. There were some groups that were fanatical in their devotion to Warlock and wanted to become mutants. And then there were those groups that wanted to stay human but sort of wanted to make peace with the mutants. They wanted to coexist together. So there was a lot of different groups, a lot of different mentalities going back and forth, and people were arguing about how to deal with the mutant threat. Basically what the mutants were, they were admin created models that had superpowers. So they could jump super high, they looked like monsters as well. But they were played by the admins, so they were like Warlock's entourage, and they had massive claws, and they could swipe, and you would die instantly. So they were really powerful. And this was like something that was very interesting to how do we deal with this?
You give them a promise of something, maybe a fealty to Warlock. You've got a pretty good bodyguard on your side. They want followers. I've heard of people that were already worshipping them.
What?
You remove society and you remove God, people will fall to anything.
I couldn't out of hand dismiss the point that Darby was making. Especially during these times, people were desperate to do whatever it took to survive. Maybe some considered a deal with Warlock to be a sort of a guarantee for at least some form of safety in his demented shadow. But they wouldn't realize the cost. The horrible cost.
We engaged with 2 of them in Stonington, and I saw it eat 200-300 rounds before it went down. Somebody had a PKM, 7.62 rounds. These things do not want to go down.
Even with a PKM? That thing should cut
Yes.
people to ribbons.
It's almost anti-material. It's that devastating. And this was at close range as well. It jumped into a group of us. We were about 9 strong.
Do you know if any, like, organized resistance is being started or anything?
I do, and when it begins, I will make sure that you're in the loop.
I mean, okay, this was actually unnecessary because we were kind of in the loop already. We'd already talked to Harold, and Harold had already let us in on what he was doing. Like, I think 2 or 3 episodes ago, we talked to Harold, and he had the Lamplight group with him, and we were basically just conspiring a little bit about what needs to be done and all that. So I don't think the Arbiters knew that we were that our small family was in on it too. So that's why Dobby's saying like, nah, I'll let you know once we get the green light. But I think they didn't know that we were already a little bit in on it.
All right.
Why I don't know actually why I asked the question then, because I kind of, well, I didn't know if the Arbiters were in on it. That's why I asked. So I kind of wanted to know where they were, because the Arbiters were known to be bandits on occasion, but they hated the mutants. They, like anybody who trafficked with the mutants, they wanted to kill. So basically, they were very anti-mutant. And then you had Lamplight, which was another group that was not bandit, but they also hated the mutants. So Lamplight and Arbiters were sort of working together in that coalition. It was a little bit strange.
Much appreciated.
The first successful mutant that we were aware of was a guy called Sir Loxley. He was mentally unhinged. He thought he was a knight. He was psychotic. He believed that he was a knight from another realm.
Oh, okay.
Avoid a group called Ghost as well.
Oh yeah, that much I know.
Yeah, Ghost were the original psychos. They were actually they were the first group that that Warlock turned into mutants. They started out as a gang of psychotic individuals, like even more than the Arbiters. The Arbiters were more like, your standard gang of bandits and ruffians, but Ghost were like severely like deranged, like mentally, like you feared them. If you mentioned Ghost on the server, people were like, "Oh, where?" Like nobody wanted to ever. And they were actually chased off the server by a coalition of other groups. So by this time, Ghosts had been gone for quite a while. But Dobby's now saying that, well, I don't know if they're
I
gone.
thought they
Ghost is
were
alright, come
gone.
back. No, they're back. There's 3 known members right now. One of them's called Jonas. He used to be known as Leviathan. Leviathan has become a split persona that exists inside him.
Okay.
Then there's Beetlejuice. He wears a teddy bear hat with a bloody eye socket.
Okay.
And then there's a third one. I can't remember his name though. It begins with an M. Murdoch, I believe.
Fuck. From all I'd heard of Ghost, I'd been relieved to hear that they had disappeared about the same time that I'd got back to the islands, with only a few remnants remaining. But the names that Dobby was giving me now were heavy hitters, Leviathan in particular, as Harold had told us about him being the first of Warlock's test subject for the serum. If they had begun to return, then something big was going on behind the scenes, and I did not like the sound of that. Not one bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're being very secretive, which makes us more uncomfortable.
Yeah, same here. It's like I did hear about like the remnants of Ghost making a comeback, but that was like a while back. I hadn't heard anything since.
Hey, thanks, Elder.
But, Leviathan had left the island and now he's back again. But he's also taking credit for the mutants, which doesn't make sense.
Okay. Well, that's weird. What if there's a
I
connection?
don't know if Ghosts are going to be maybe they're going to be a part of the cult. Maybe they're planting the seeds right now.
Ah, okay. All this talk about Ghost made me kind of anxious, so I switched the conversation. I'd wanted to know more about Lamplight, so I asked Dobby about that group. As we were talking, I could hear footsteps approaching us in the night. You know where these
You'll be
Lamplight are based?
Lamplight. They're north of Salty Cougar / Duskar.
Okay.
You'll
Yeah,
most
I
likely
agree.
meet them at Duskar, though. They're there regularly.
Okay. So, like Waldoboro, maybe? Or Mountainville?
Yeah, around Waldoboro.
Okay, okay.
I know where they are, but I don't give locations for
No
compounds.
worries. Actually,
So
I've not
fucking
been
secretive.
that much to Waldoboro at all. And I think
How's it
we
going?
have somebody on approach.
Here comes my brother.
Hello.
Yeah, hey
How's it
bro.
going?
I could hear you shiver a mile away. Rory had just returned from his supply run, and with him he had something he had found which he figured would serve as a gift and show of goodwill for the Arbiters.
Yeah, I got it.
Nope.
I get it.
believe one of you guys the other day had that.
I
machine.
agree.
Feel free to give that to him as a backup.
Oh, was that the only mask?
No, it's a Spectre mask.
Okay. So many goddamn masks up. So, back to the subject of Lamplight.
Yeah, I mean they are a good group. I think you'd do well to become friends with them. They're decent people. They've got a massive complex, huge. There's another big complex up there. I think they're traders, but they've not been too vocal. Maybe they're just trying to get themselves set up first. Watch the riders though. I don't trust them.
Oh yeah, the Riders. We haven't heard anything from them in like months, it feels like.
Yeah, so the Portland Riders were this big motorcycle gang, and it was apparently, supposedly, the biggest group on that server, run by the server owner. So, but we rarely had any interactions with them.
They moved up to the race course. They're right next door to Salvation. Salvation is a reforging of Sanctuary.
It figures. Sanctuary always had
course,
tight,
yeah.
like they were always tight with Riders. They were like almost like their militant arm.
So I'm about ready to head off. It was nice catching up with you both, though.
Yeah, same. Yeah, you too, Dobby. Nice to catch up with you and hear your story. And it's good to see you again, man. It's been too long.
Likewise, things change a lot around here.
Oh, they do. Definitely. All right. Well, safe journey, and
Thank you.
we'll see each other again.
Likewise.
This is so awkward because you know when you role play and you actually stand around doing campfire role play, and it's kind of what we're doing here. We're talking, we're catching up on intel, we're sort of, you know, passing around rumors and all that. And then, you know, it's at some point you need to stop. You need to like finish it, and you know, you go your separate ways. But here it's like I've already said like, well, take care, man. And Dobby's just standing there. He's like, I'm like, what do we? I remember actually feeling like, do I need to like wave goodbye to him? Come on, get the hint, man. You know.
Yeah. Safe travels.
Finally, he starts to move.
All right. You need a drink before we go.
No, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, it's confusing.
I don't know if I said this before. If you have any more hassles with the collectors, tell them they'll have a problem with us if they carry on.
Ah. Okay.
Good. Very appreciated, man.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
So basically, what that was Dobby giving us assurances that if this little group called the Collectors, who I think were like a small time bandit group trying to shake us down, specifically my brother Rory, trying to like collect money from him. If we still have, if we kept having problems with them, then we should tell them that the arbiters would not look too kindly on that, and they would actually intervene on our behalf, because we were actually based in the arbiters' overall territory. So we were kind of, if anybody was going to shake us down, it was supposed to be the arbiters, but they didn't do that because at this point we were already kind of buddy with the arbiters. So that's interesting.
Bye.
The journey back home was fairly uneventful, which was good because we had some stuff to think about. Somewhat surprised, we considered this sudden vow of friendship and protection which had suddenly dropped into our lap, and by the arbiters no less. It would undeniably seem that this powerhouse of morally ambiguous individuals, for whatever reason, had taken a shine to us, even with my own fears about them brewing on the back burner in my head. With that in mind, I felt like I was starting to warm up to the Arbies, even if it was ever so slightly. I still remembered their behavior back in the day, but to be fair, that warning was making less and less sense these days.
I'll take care of the flag. It's slightly down.
Alright, so this is where we live. This is what's gonna become Burleyville. Our own little town.
There
Well,
we go.
it became a town after I left.
Yeah, you do that, bro. Thanks for today, and stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.
See you, man.
Take care.
So now basically I'm working by myself on the perimeter fence of Burleyville.
The entire next day I spent setting in motion plans for a perimeter fence around the main buildings. I began loading up on logs and planks. While doing that, I also finally got around to put up the long-awaited bulletin board. It would serve as a place where people could post their notes, everything from news from all over the island, to commercial ads, wanted posters, anecdotal scribbles, and missing persons notations. Our location made it perfect in many ways to put this here, because not only would people be able to come here in order to update themselves, allowing us a chance for more interaction, but we would also be the first ones to see whatever was posted at any given time, since this bulletin board was ours, and it was placed neatly on the road leading to New Duskar from the main South Island. I went ahead and transferred all the notes from poor Rory's house to the bulletin board in the hopes that people would get the hint. I even went so far as to call the location Burleyville in the note. A bold statement wherein we more or less finally made the location ours with a promise of development to come.
They don't listen, you feel free to kick them out. It's cougar territory.
Alright. This is when I listen in on a transmission.
May I attend the meeting, because I believe that people will talk about lamplight, and I want to be there to deal with it. And I could actually get the story from them as well.
One sec. You?
While taking a break, I decided to casually listen in on New Duskar's radio frequency. Like we'd said before, we wanted to be able to respond quickly if any problems occurred across the water. I had switched on the radio and accidentally been made privy to a conversation between Juniper of New Duskar and Gil of Lamplight regarding some incident that had transpired earlier.
Me, because there is a very, very high likelihood this meeting is going to be hacked, or there's going to be an issue that comes up during it. Very, very high likelihood. I'll be there in a second. I'm waiting on Bishop. He's got a headache right now. Arthur! Arthur! Christ. I heard about the situation that occurred with the lamplight earlier today. Do you mind if Gillison comes to hear
You
about
can
the
hear.
whole situation?
I think that might be like the attack already starting a little bit. Like there's something else going on, but you hear the gunshots.
And so he can get the information about it?
It turns out that it wasn't actually them. It was someone who has their arm bound.
Yep.
What?
Alright. I'm
If
coming
Gil
right now.
wants to come, he can, but it turns out someone has either robbed their arm band or they just have it.
Alright, yeah, okay. He said he's coming.
No, I'm on my way right now.
Alright, yeah.
I am not happy about that.
Oh shit, Gil was pissed. That didn't sound good. While listening in, I realized that I hadn't seen Rory all day. He must have left on another trip of his. While things seemed kosher, I couldn't help feeling that we didn't communicate as much as we used to before. It was as if we were slipping away from each other more and more, and this sour feeling was riding me, pestering me about how he could have the audacity to just leave everything in the past. He didn't even make an effort to open up to me, his own brother. And what about me? Was he ever concerned about how I felt? It certainly didn't show if he was.
You see, you hear how the resentment is building up. He's like, Robin is like, really like getting to that point where he's like, ugh.
Did he ever? Okay, that's enough of that. I had to remember Rory was most likely dealing with it all. But he gave no sign of being burdened by it, by what he had done. Was he just that good at hiding it? I decided to get back to work. Repression was pretty much my MO these days, the only thing I could do well. But I was fearing the fact that it would consume me from inside if I didn't let it out soon.
By the way, this is one of the few times where I don't use the cowboy hat. When I was playing Robin Burley, the cowboy hat sort of became my signature item. But here I'm actually using the I think in this episode and possibly the next one, I actually use the beanie.
As I kept working, two people approached me from the road. They had their guns out, but truthfully, a lot of people did these days.
Hello, do you have some food maybe?
Food. Let's see.
My name is Ante Pavelic.
Ah, okay, greetings. Alright, so you're freelancers, or are you rolling with anyone?
Oh, so this is my friend. His name is Arkan, and he have problem with talking. You know, he's and he don't know to talk from his early years.
So this is interesting because if you've seen this series before, you know very well who these guys are. In particular, the guy on the right, who doesn't talk. He doesn't talk for a reason, because if he talked, people would recognize his voice. That is Jose. And Jose was a wanted man. He was wanted by New Duskar, our patrons that the major settlement that is like right across the water from where we live. And he was he had been a part of New Duskar before, but an accident he accidentally killed off a few members of New Duskar. After that, he was fined and then kicked out of New Duskar. Shortly after that, he came back, and New Duskar expected him to, like, come up and make formal reparations. Instead, he took shots at the leader, Arthur, and Arthur survived, but, people went to where Jose and his boys lived in, I think it was Cushville, and just razed it to the ground. They went after him, and they said that they killed him, but they didn't. This is actually Jose, but he's not talking, so we don't know that yet. I certainly did not know that at this point. But this is what happens. So let's just see what happens here. Hey, Elder, you wanna take care of that too?
I gotcha.
But
Okay.
he was fighting for his country, and that's what I respect from him.
Absolutely. Pride in one's country. That is good. What are you doing?
Oh, we're just taking a walk around. I never been
Thank
to
you, Elder.
a place called Daskar.
Ah, okay. Oh, you should.
So, what do you do?
Well, this is, well, I am part of the Burley family. Me and my bro,
Yes, sir.
we sort of live here. Uh,
Is this normal to hear
uh,
a fucking shooting
with the gunshots,
here?
yeah. Especially since we
Oh,
live here, we live very close to New Duskar, which is like right over there. We hear gunshots all the time, especially from that place. Yeah, and if you're going to New Duskar, see if you can meet up with Arthur or Bishop. Those guys are sort of like the shot callers over there, and they might be interested to maybe I don't know, hire some extra help or something.
I'm just talking so innocently. I had no idea who these guys were, but it's funny to me now that I'm watching here. But yeah,
And dealing with the
cool.
mutants.
Oh, that sounds cool.
I don't know, of course.
How
I'm just
was
speculating.
his name? Can you tell me, please? Because I need to bring some money and supplies, for my wife and kids.
Yeah, that's understandable. See if they have any job employment up there. They're bound to have something for you.
so I'm basically sending these guys up to their old enemies, saying, "See if they have any jobs for you." Yeah, something. It's some kind of Slavic accent they were going for.
Yes, we will go check it. Okay.
That sounds
Thank
good.
you a lot, Seventh.
No worries.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Goodbye. Safe journey.
Goodbye, my comrade. Long live the.
So I had no idea. So I was just, oh, okay, fine. Let's keep working.
Ante Pavlich and Arkham. Odd people, but nice
Yeah.
enough. I hoped they would find some good opportunities. People seemed to be very active today. That was good. And just a minute later, another visitor would check in to talk to me.
Cameron.
Well, hello there.
So you're the one with your goddamn radio on, Robin.
Oh shit, did I forget that? Oh, I'm sorry.
So the entire conversation that I just had with, Ante Pavlich and Arkan was broadcast everywhere. Everybody within the earshot of my walkie-talkie heard me talk to these guys, and I had forgotten to turn my radio off. What bitrate you used to record and stream this? I don't remember. This was before I used Shadowplay, so I think I used OBS. I think it was like probably like 10,000 or 20,000, something like that. I didn't stream. I only recorded this, and then I edited it.
Oh. Anybody on the radio? Sorry.
Yeah.
Shit will happen.
Cameron was kind enough to show me how to listen in without transmitting, and he told me that he also had come over to make sure that I wasn't being robbed.
Some.
Alright.
I was just making sure you weren't getting robbed.
Oh, that's much appreciated. Yeah, it was a little bit like they came up on me and I was like, oh, okay. They had like, gear that was a little bit intimidating. Why didn't you tell me I was broadcasting to everyone?
I was having some fun.
Aww.
And seeing as I know where you live.
Pretty soon, though, some shit is gonna go down. It's gonna get serious, but we're gonna talk a bit with Cameron first.
I just decided to come.
I got you. All right. How are you, man? By the way.
I'm good. I'm good.
I noticed a specific armband on the usually armband-less Cameron.
Oh, are you part of Lamplight now?
Yes.
Cool.
They
Cool.
need it. They need it, man. They need it.
Okay.
It's not an easy mission to get rid of mutants.
Okay, so has there been attack on Lamplight?
We got attacked last night.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they jumped on our roof. I
Mm-hmm.
shot him in the fucking leg.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh
Legs.
lord.
Bastards are definitely strong, but lucky thing is, they can't open your code lock.
Oh, thank God for that at least.
It's the big mutants, that walk on two legs, that walk.
Yeah.
That's right.
And,
They had
then
different
you got
types of
the
mutants.
dogs, the mutant wolves. The I think they'll break your arm or leg with just one bite. So try not to get bit.
Yeah.
And they ain't got the spiders. Them fucking annoying things. This grass, they can hide in that. That's how small they are.
We talked at length about the mutants and the fact that no one really knew what the mutants' agenda was. We all only knew that they followed Warlock, who was trying to further his own twisted plan about superseding the human race with his creations. We'd been told as much by several sources, the most prominent of which was Harold. And speaking of which,
Have you talked to Harold recently?
Oh, are you not gonna stay for the end? I mean, I can't blame you. It's very late where you are. Too bad though, because this shit is gonna get really hectic, like in a moment here. But okay, take care, man. Sleep tight. Have a good night's rest, and I won't be streaming tomorrow. We'll see when I get back to streaming, but um, yeah. Be careful and have a good night. All right.
I've not seen Harold. He barely comes up here from my understanding.
Oh, okay. Okay.
the conversation spilled over onto the construction of Burleyville, and Cameron mentioned how they'd had problems putting in a well up at the Lamplight compound.
I was wondering, how do you actually build a well?
Have you ever played Daisy?
You need a bucket, like one of them wooden buckets, and a rope, and then you'll need 48 stones and fucking 12 mortar mixes.
48
And
48
it's
stones?
yep, cause it's 8
Okay.
stones per 2 mortar.
I would recommend it.
You
It's
need
actually kind of
12.
cool. At least
I'm
roleplay
doing it
servers.
right here, at the end of the road.
Yeah.
Oh, free water for everybody is all well and good. Is all well and good. Did you hear? Huh? I cracked myself up.
Jesus.
The fucking puns. Yeah, it's an online
A
game.
prime piece of lamplight
You
steak.
see, we're all playing in this
thank-
world.
As Cameron got ready to leave, he mentioned he was O negative for future reference and offered to have my blood tested, as he did have a blood test kit on him.
Negative. I'm O positive, apparently.
Very common.
Hey, O brother.
Yeah, I'm just the better one. I'm
Aw.
the Robin of the brothers.
Oh, okay. You get a pass with that. Yeah, that's.
I'm
That's
the
how
Robin
you
of the
do it,
brothers.
you know.
That was so sweet of him to say. He kind of sucked up to me there, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. What about the Pole?
The ambience seems like Far Cry 5.
Rumors about it.
Oh, I think I
While
have
was
like
being way too curious
some
and
Far Cry
inquisitive,
games.
My awareness was evidently slacking off because we soon found ourselves joined by the two individuals from earlier.
All right, so now they're coming back.
Hello?
Hello.
What's happening?
Ah, there you
He's,
go. Okay,
He's
okay.
trying to look through the camera. Just make a mental image of it. Remember it.
I think you need to clean the lens as well.
Yeah, the lens is cracked.
Yeah, the lens it's fucking
Jesus.
scratched up. Man, that's what I'm saying. You need like some perfect lighting.
Yeah.
There is no fun if there is no
There.
hard. if it's,
It's
not
not.
hard.
What?
There's no fun if it's not hard.
That can be interpreted a bunch of ways.
Yeah.
So, my Slavic brothers, did you meet the leadership of Duskar? Or New Duskar, pardon.
Yeah, and I think they're a little bit selfish, you know.
Oh?
They're
They're trying to badmouth New
somehow
Duskar here.
egoistic. I don't like them.
Okay. What did you talk about?
You're no man.
Yeah.
You're okay. You're cool, but over there, they're
On-
really like weird, you know.
Yeah, on the other side of the water, yeah. They tend to be weird. Right, Cameron?
They're,
Yeah.
they're
Cameron
I was
lives on the
joking,
other side.
But something in the tone of Ante Pavlovich told me that he was being serious. These guys did not like New Duskar.
and he says,
I wonder
"Who are
why.
you? What are you doing here? From where are you?" Oh. You know, like he wants to bite you. You know.
He wants to
Well,
bite.
where are you off to now?
Oh, just a second. We're going somewhere. I don't know. We need to find some nails. We
Nails was the
here,
currency
but
on the
no
server.
luck, you know, my comrade.
It was basically
We
money
will go out.
because everybody wanted to build walls and
So
bases.
what was your name?
My name is Robin.
Robin, like
Yes.
Robin Hood.
Exactly! You're
Oh,
the first
like
one who
robbing,
gets that
like,
reference.
No,
He was-
he's robbing you.
He's the first one who
No,
gets
he's
that
right.
reference.
robbing you.
He looked
know-
like
you know
Robin
what?
Hood.
You know how many who has said that? It's like, ugh, get something easy. Contact down the road.
And now somebody
I
else
saw
comes here.
somebody approaching from the north.
This guy is interesting.
Oh, it's Top. He doesn't look too.
Listen to how he speaks.
Top, are you all right?
I'm in pain.
You're not. You're in pain.
What the fuck is happened to him?
I'm hurt.
Are you all right, Top? Jesus.
I fell off mountain while running away from mutants.
Oh,
I locked them in bunker. I lock people in bunker.
you want me to give you some morphine?
Yes, yes. Is this Johnny?
No, this is Cameron.
Cameron.
In apparent need of assistance, what I can only describe as a person with a parrot voice and with a plushy bear head covering his own approached Cameron to receive aid. This reminded me of Lucas from back in the day. I mean, what was it with Deer Isle and people just going completely bonkers here? Oh, wait, what was that? An Arbiter armband? Enough said.
Well,
Who's this?
What do you want?
What do you want?
Sir, I will have to ask you to move from my private space. I don't like people when they come near my private space.
I am not near your private space, you little weirdo.
Yes, you are
You're
in
near my
front of
private-
my
you're
dick.
near
I
my
don't
private
like
space.
that. You stand in front of my dick. You see, you was standing like this to me.
Whoa,
I
whoa,
don't
whoa,
like
whoa,
that.
whoa! I don't like where you're
whoa,
touching.
whoa,
Is
whoa,
that a
whoa.
sword?
You're standing in front of my dick. It's like-
He's a little weirdo. You hang out with weirdos.
I just met them.
You say that I'm weirdo, but you're having the fucking I don't know what on your head and you're foot naked, and I'm the weirdo. Here. Oh, this will be interesting.
What will be interesting? I was just putting away sword.
Is he a good guy? If you see the armbands, he's part of the Arbiters. You know, those semi-bandits, those who rob people, but sometimes they're okay with you. And this one is one of the more unhinged people, but usually he's pretty nice.
Don't go behind my back. I'm not homosexual, for fuck's sake.
Jesus Christ.
Don't touch my ass.
No
No,
one's touching your
no.
ass.
Okay,
What's that
where
on
is
your
this
head?
going?
Oh, night vision, nice. That's cool.
Yes, you're too poor. You can't afford.
Oh,
Yes, but we are men. We are not homosexuals like you, my comrade.
Oh my god.
You're not
You
deserve
sound like you
to
have
be
dick.
called
Sound
a
like you have
comrade.
dick.
What?
I mean,
What?
seriously.
I don't think I stuttered. You
They're
sound
mouthing
like
off.
you have big nuts in your
Oh,
mouth.
a lot
You
of
sound
contacts
like,
down the road.
You have
Oh yeah, that's Duskar.
a little problem in your
All right.
brain.
Oh, and Top
Goodbye,
disappears.
Top, my friend. Safe journey, man. Safe journey.
Bye bye.
Take it easy.
Okay, so notice here, there's a bunch of people coming from New Duskar. These guys with the purple armbands, they belong to New Duskar, but they don't know who we're standing here and talking to. But soon they're gonna know here. All right. Well, sleep tight, man. Feel free to check this out tomorrow if you want to. Have a good night.
Hello, fellas.
Hello.
Don't you fella me, you bastard.
Holy crap.
Hi, Tom.
Okay. Burleyville was apparently already on its way to being a nexus of visitors. It was starting to feel really crowded here. As the dust settled after the stampede of Duskarites had skipped through our little friendly get-together.
Hey, Max Busterman! How are you? Good to see you again. This is multiplayer, but this is a recording from when I roleplayed. So I'm like doing commentary on my series but yeah, this is DayZ. This is actually a game where you play multiplayer.
Our conversation ended up on the history of New Duskar itself, and consequently about what had happened to the guy known as Jose. I didn't know more than I'd been told, but I did my best trying to inform Ante Pavlovich about the tension and subsequent conflict between Jose and New Duskar, how he had accidentally killed some people with grenades, how New Duskar had kicked him out, and how he had opted to retaliate.
I don't know. Don't quote me on this, but I think Jose sort of attacked someone, shot at Arthur, I think, in New Duskar. And
Oh yes.
yeah,
He took out his side of his head, scraped his eye.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is roleplay review now. Super Nintendo Summer is still a thing, but right now we're doing roleplay review because Super Nintendo Summer episode was very short tonight.
And after that, New Duskar sort of rallied and just marched on Cushville. Sort of obliterated the place.
Originally, he was just, beaten up. Oh, he wasn't meant to die, but, he was shot after he tried to pull out a grenade and throw it at all the people there.
Oh, shit.
Here we
He likes
go.
his grenades.
And then, Artyom spoke for the first time.
Yes, I like my grenades, you little shit.
Wait, what did you say your fucking name was?
I'm Jose.
Are you going to New Duskar?
No.
New Duskar was just attacked, it seems.
What?
It seems to have been, Jose. And I hear, we got him. They got Jose.
Oh fuck. Looks like Jose wasn't as dead as rumor had it after all. Here he was, in the flesh. Shit! The Duskies had been looking for him back during the conflict, and now he was right on their doorstep. They'd blown right past us. Now, him and his friend had me and Cameron at gunpoint. I had no idea what they were planning, but I had no choice but to play along.
I remember this was I was so excited here. It was like, oh shit, they're actually taking us hostage.
We need to change it. Don't try.
No.
I'm going to put his weapons to unarm him. Okay, stand up. Go to this forest. Now! Go.
Hi, sorry, my comrade. You met me by my fake name, but I believe we will meet each other one day soon. That will not
Apparently, Ante Pavlovich, or whatever his name was, considered me to be less of a threat, and was even going to lobby that they let me go. I didn't know what Jose wanted with Cameron, or where he had taken him, but I could hear distressed voices ringing out from over by the beachfront trees.
What's he doing with him? Go in that house, and if you go out, I will have to kill you. Okay.
Okay.
Пусть я...
I was told to wait for 15 minutes up on the second floor of the empty house, and that if I disobeyed orders, they would shoot me.
So what do you do in this situation? I had nothing. I think they took my gun, and they took Cameron somewhere, and I don't know where they are. So basically, I'm gonna have to stay here for a while. If I leave the house, they will shoot me. But I don't want to help them. I don't want to, comply. I want to do something. And that's when I remember, like, I have a radio on me. So do you try to actually contact someone? Because remember, these guys could have radios as well and listen in.
All I could think of was poor Cameron and what he must be going through right now. As my heart pounded and sweat beaded my eyebrows, my thoughts shifted to my brother. I had no idea where Rory was and couldn't imagine that him turning up right now would be a recipe for anything but a bloodbath. What should I do? I couldn't risk leaving the house. Ante Pavlovich could be outside, gun pointed at the door. But then I remembered. I still had my radio on me.
So I'm trying. I'm gonna try. The thing here is, I couldn't really go calling anybody, like calling any friendlies. We're being attacked. We're being, that would draw attention to me, especially if they heard me from outside. So I'm like trying to be all casual, like as if I didn't even notice that my radio was on. So I'm like, oh boy, who would have thought that Jose was still alive and he's actually holding us hostage at Burleyville. I'm trying to like sound casual, but like just get it out there.
Oh my. Who would have thought that guy Jose would rise from the dead? And right now, ambush Cameron and Robin Burley right across the water.
I decided to risk it. Make it seem like I wasn't even aware of my radio being switched on so that it would look like a mistake if our captors overheard me. And, true enough, after a while, I could hear footsteps approaching yet again.
Yeah.
S-O-S.
S-O-S.
Hello, my friend. Are you still here?
Yes, I'm here.
I believe that you have a radio. May I get your radio, please?
Okay.
I'm not the boss.
Alright, alright.
Okay, enjoy.
Oh,
Do you have
thanks.
another radio?
Oh, no, I don't have another radio.
Thing is, though, he could have just shot me, but he was being very nice, very polite for a kidnapper, He could have actually shot me right then and there just because I was actually trying to get help. But he let me live. That's kind of interesting.
For a hostile captor, this particular guy was very polite, I have
Yeah.
to say. As the minutes passed and it was obvious that the house was under guard, I came to the conclusion that there was nothing else I really could do. I felt sorry for Cameron, but I couldn't help him at this time. A couple of minutes passed where I did what they told me to do, but long before the 15 minutes were over, I decided to try my luck. I couldn't just sit here.
Hello, is anybody still there?
I tentatively called out to see if they were still around. They could have fled the scene.
Hello, is anybody still out there?
I got no response, and for the longest of times I debated with myself whether or not they were testing me, perhaps trying to goad me into breaking their rules. Then something caught my eye. Somebody was reading my bulletin board. I thanked whomever had dictated fate that I'd put up that momentary distraction.
Hey, dude. Psst. Over here. Yeah, that's right. Over here.
Are you going to sell me drugs?
No. Nothing that extravagant.
Are you gonna sell me
Can you
drugs?
tell me if you see anybody out, like, around this house? Like, is anybody in the area?
I'll be right back.
All right.
No, as far as I can see.
All right. Good. I'm coming down. There was a little bit of an altercation here right now. I got taken hostage and forced to sit
By
up.
who? You're by yourself.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where they went now. It was that guy that they thought they had killed. The guy, Jose.
Jose.
Yeah, there's a long story, but apparently he wanted revenge, and he took me hostage and Cameron of Lamplight. They took Cameron somewhere else, and I don't know where they went. They told me to stay up there and just, wait for 15 minutes. And this was just recently.
Like hide and seek.
Yeah, something like that. The man who believed I wanted to sell him drugs was called Grim and offered to escort me up to New Duskar. As this was urgent, I accepted graciously. While fetching a gun at my house, someone else joined us outside. Lo and behold, it was Rory. Apparently, he had caught my transmission. My SOS over the radio, which I thought had gone unheard, had been picked up by my brother, and Rory told me that he connected the dots and raced back when he heard my voice. I was genuinely grateful, but I also noted that he was already wearing full military gear as if equipped for a heavy operation.
Yeah.
And he was also not wearing our white armband, which would identify him as part of our two-man group. A mixture of emotions struggled for control in me, and several unwanted suspicions made themselves known to me. I began conjuring up nightmarish scenarios of everything from dual allegiances to secretly being a bandit. Bottom line was, I had no idea where he had been or what he was up to running around anonymous and kitted out like that, but it was a topic that was going to have to wait. Right now, time was short. Cameron might not have that long to live.
The thing is, behind the scenes, oftentimes we played at different times because Mehdi, who played Rory, lives in United States, and I live in Sweden. So we would oftentimes play very different, we would be alone a lot. Sometimes I would be up very late, and he would be able to play earlier than usual. Then we would actually be able to interact. But because of the different time zones, there were a lot of times when we were on our own, separately. And it worked to our advantage because as we broke down the story between us, both of us were in agreement that there's supposed to be a little bit of a resentment ever since Dex died by Rory's hands. There's like a crack between us. So it kind of plays into the paranoia of Rory or of Robin, that Rory comes back and is all like doing shady stuff that he doesn't know anything about. Like he's trying, like he feels like his brother's keeping things away from him or like keeping things hidden from him. So it's like the brothers who were so close are now like getting they're drifting apart and being a little bit, but they're still family. So it's a little bit it's a very complicated relationship here.
I brought my brother up to speed, and together we went across the bridge over to New Duskar to bring them the bad news.
What happened with the light Cameron, man?
Yeah, I know.
Do you think they went this direction, or are they still on our peninsula?
I have no idea where they went. I was like completely closed off. At New Duskar, there was no sign of either the assailants or Cameron, so they must have either gone the other way or sidestepped the settlement entirely.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense for Jose, who's a mortal enemy of New Duskar, to actually take a hostage into New Duskar. But we went here mainly to alert the authorities about what's going on.
It did make sense, I suppose.
It would be pretty suicidal to run
Yeah.
straight into the arms of Arthur while having a hostage who most assuredly would reveal their true identities to their old enemies. But New Duscar was emptied out, there was no one around, and we began losing hope of getting the news to the right people before the trail of Jose went cold. I thought to myself that it looked hopeless, when we suddenly saw movement up ahead.
Yo, anybody home? Any Duscarites? Whoa, 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 whoa. New Duscar, we got a problem.
What's that?
They just took my brother here. We're the Burleys. He took my brother here hostage with Cameron from Lamplight. They took off with Cameron. We've been trying to track him down, but we lost track of him.
Yeah.
Burley Brothers, it's Bishop. I remember meeting you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Start settling in.
Yeah. But
So wait. So wait, they took Cameron and your brother hostage, or
Yeah.
just your brother?
Here's the thing.
They took Cameron and my
I told the whole story about the two strangers who turned out to be Jose and his friend, how Cameron had been taken hostage, and how all of them had disappeared while I was left alone under duress. Sergei was the first one who pretty much expressed what we were all feeling.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, they forced us down on the ground, and I had to lay completely still, and Jose went off with Cameron somewhere. I don't know where.
We'll see what we can do. You guys alright?
Yeah, we are now. We're worried about Cameron.
Yeah, that's not good news.
Sort itself out. That motherfucker doesn't die, man.
No. We were like talking about like what had caused like the whole grenade thing, and I joked and I was saying like, oh, that guy sure likes his grenades, and he was like, yeah, I do like my grenades, and he's like, hands up. Oh, okay, fine. Shit, you know. When I saw them, at least, they had like masks on. One had, I think it's the Stalker gas mask, and the other had like that full armored metal helmet thing. And they were wearing like dark, sort of military-ish gear, and they sported AKs, suppressed. No
One
armbands that I could see.
One sported AK.
That motherfucker to die. Just want that motherfucker to go down. Stay in the fucking ground.
Well, I mean, here's the problem. A lot of people are out right now.
Yeah, they actually passed by when me and Cameron were talking with Jose and his buddy.
Fuck.
Yeah, and I think that's why Jose was real quiet.
Yeah, they completely missed him. That like the entire like battalion was just like going past us, like hello boys, and it was so like after the fact, I look back at it and I'm like, wow, if I'd only known that that was Jose, I could have said something, but you know, I didn't.
Bishop and Sergei went ahead to see if they could track down the rest of the settlement's standing militia to coordinate search and rescue operations, while Grim opted to stay behind at New Duscar. We gave him our thanks and shared our frequency with him just in case any important news would reach that place. Meanwhile, me and Rory headed off to search the peninsula. It was a long shot that they were still in our own backyard, but you never knew.
Like right here was where he brought Cameron.
Right, listen. They might be expecting backup. They might think that, you know, they know since you got away. They might think that they're expecting backup, so we need to be careful.
Very true. Since this is a commentary track, I will also tell you that in the game, not in the lore, but in the game, Cameron was actually dead here. Cameron's corpse was laying somewhere here in the bushes, and I actually recorded finding that. But for, you know, the story, I didn't want to show that, so I kept that out. But it was a fact that we actually found Cameron's body, so he was killed. I mean, obviously, Jose would make a statement or something like that, so he actually did kill Cameron. We found his body, and I wonder, it might have been cut up, I don't remember, but I remember that Rory actually took his gear. He was going to give it back to Lamplight or somebody that was gonna, you know, um, the rightful owner if Cameron ever came back, like if we ever in the story found Cameron, because in the story I kind of edit it so that we don't know what happened to Cameron. Jose basically took him and disappeared. But in the game, we actually found his body here. A lot of times you could hear the flies. I don't think it's in here, but in the raw footage when I was editing, there was like a lot of flies buzzing around his corpse.
Yeah, personally, I think they bolted. They've taken camera and just bolted.
But they can't move very fast if they have him handcuffed.
No, that's true.
We spent the better part of the next 30 minutes searching the peninsula, but as we suspected, the trail had gone cold. Rory decided to head back to New Duskar and check in with Grim, and also see if the Duskies had found out anything new.
This is now we get to the good stuff, because we go from out of the frying pan into the fire. I almost wanted to name this episode that. I don't remember, but I think I was considering it. But Double Trouble worked well enough, because there's actually two things that are going on at the same time. We go from a hostage situation, and now as I return to New Duskar, there is a full-blown war going on up there with the mutants attacking New Duskar. So I'm going from one crisis situation into the next. And mind you, Rory is up there, and I have no idea if he's alive.
I told him that I just needed to outfit myself more appropriately, and then I would catch up. I'd been in the middle of changing gear when he called me and told me to head over to New Duskar urgently. The call had been cut off before I could answer him. Then I heard it. Gunfire from across the water. As I arrived back in New Duskar, the frequency of my still-activated radio tuned in voices from the coordinated defense effort that was underway. All thoughts of Jose and Cameron were immediately replaced with a more urgent sense of dread, as I realized that New Duskar had come under attack.
Yeah, this is me just running into an active war zone.
Come on, you ugly fucks! Follow the sound of my soothing voice! Continue firing! Continue firing!
And not just by anyone.
Warlock is here.
Warlock? Could it be? Could it really be him?
Dogs inbound, on my rear!
Fuck! He was here? I had moved from being a victim in a hostage drama to getting caught up in a massive mutant attack on New Duskar. One chaotic event relieved another, and Rory was out there somewhere, in danger, possibly dead. Again, everything was going to shit. This was too much for me. Crossfire ripped across the skies, and raging mutants were picking apart people in the streets.
Okay, that is me obviously exaggerating, but it was kind of like it fit the story, so I added that into the narrative. But one thing that is worth noting here is the fact that I am kind of paralyzed here. I don't know what to do, and that is not acting. Although I added it into the narrative, the story, that Robin, the character that I'm playing, is actually paralyzed with fear. He doesn't know what to do, and then he, like, something convinces you'll see. But that little thing, the fact that I didn't know what to do, that was not acting. When I got up here and I hear gunshots everywhere, I am not like a regular PvPer. I am not good when it comes to, like, death matches, trying to kill each other. Like, I haven't, like, had a good death match since, like, I don't know, like GoldenEye for Nintendo 64. I usually don't play games. Okay, Apex Legends, I guess. But at this time, I don't think I'd actually played Apex Legends here. This was in like 2021, and I think I started playing Apex Legends in maybe the year after or something like that. So here I didn't know what to do, and because there was gunfire going on from almost like all directions, I panicked. I froze. I didn't know what to do. And while I'm standing here, I remember thinking, like, God damn it, I can't just stand here. This is not good content. You know, I have to do something. I have to fight. But at the same time, the the situation is very sketchy. Like, I have no idea what's going on. I do know that the mutants are attacking, but I don't know where people are. I don't know where the good guys are, where the bad guys are, what I should be shooting, if there are bad humans involved. You know, like, I have no intel. So I'm pretty much dropped into a very chaotic situation. And for the longest of times, I just stood here behind the house, like slightly panicked and having no idea what to do. Like, holy shit, how am I supposed to do this? Because as I was recording, you know, when you have your main character, when you have your main character involved in a situation, you want your main character to survive. You don't want him to die, because if the main character dies, what the hell does that do with your story? It complicates things. It definitely does. So what you want to, if you can, is to make sure that the main character survives. And that's not coming from a place of, you know, like, I am the star, I need to survive. It just eases the process of telling the story, because everything happens continuously, and if you die, you have to like respawn, and you have to explain that away like somehow, and you have to look for gear, and once you have geared up, maybe it's like 3-4 days later and this situation is already resolved. You have to explain it away in the story, what happened. I mean, yes, you can say that you got knocked out, but that's not a fulfilling end to this situation. So I was really aware of the fact that I had to try to stay alive, and that meant not running around trying to play the hero, trying to shoot somebody. But I feel like I resolved it in a fairly adequate way. If we keep on going here, you'll see what I mean.
That's right, follow me!
As New Duskar opened up with a massive counterattack, I huddled behind the safety of the house. I knew my brother was going to be somewhere at the main gate, proudly defending the settlement, and no doubt therapeutically cleansing his pent-up anger. I wanted so desperately to join him, but something unexpected had stopped me in my tracks. I was suddenly gripped with something which almost crushed me with all of its weight. I was gripped by a numbing sensation of fear.
And this, I mean, I'm not lying here. I was kind of fearful of losing this guy. Like, he had, I mean, part of it was gear fear, but most of it was also the fact that if a stray bullet killed him, this entire situation would be ruined. You know, it would feel like I couldn't use it in the story. So I came up with a solution. I came up with, how should I explain it? Like, Robin sort of developing a second persona, which if you've watched Ego on Daisy Underground, you'll know that there's a lot of that going around. But this was the first time when I actually used that trope. He's sort of developing a second persona, which is second guessing him. And it is, in this series, that persona is his fear. So his fear is trying to convince him to just stay back and do nothing. And that is what you're going to hear now. You're going to hear his voice. And because his voice is very distorted, I, added a bunch of effects. I also added like some kind of like writing on the screen so that it would be a little bit easier to see what fear essentially was telling Robin. So here we go. Here's Robin's fear.
Bullets, bullets, bullets flying everywhere. Mutants in the streets, eating, killing, death, 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 blood, pain, fire, darkness, vegan, fangs,
This was basically just a mantra going on in the background. That's why you're not seeing a text right now. But the fear will start talking to Robin soon enough here.
Military gear aside, I was no soldier. I didn't have the sharp-edged focus that came with being a military man.
And that worked in a double way, because for the story, yes, Robin wasn't a soldier. He had no idea if he would survive if he ended up in a battle. And in real life, I'm not a good PvPer, so I'm not a soldier, in that regard either, so it all tracks.
My mind was swamped with the realization that if I stuck my head out, it meant almost certain death for an untrained man.
Yeah.
And with already having been taken hostage by Jose in the same day, adding this situation proved too strenuous to my mind. I cracked under the pressure, completely freezing up, paralyzed on the spot. I was overcome with not only fear, but shame as well. I was desperate to back up my brother. I really was.
That is true. That is also true in real life, because I have to admit I was a little bit ashamed here when I was playing here, because I just felt so gutless. It was kind of that I didn't want my character to die, but it was also the fucking complication of trying to keep the story alive and continuous. But at the same time, it felt like, what the hell am I playing this for if I'm not going to go into battle? But I just couldn't do it. I was so frozen to the spot here. So, but eventually, I decided to do this.
But we had no communication. I couldn't pinpoint his location with any kind of certainty, and I knew that if I ventured out, it would have been an exercise in futility, as I was liable to die right there and then.
Are you hearing the fact that I'm rationalizing to the viewer why I'm not running out? That is what it felt like, and that is pretty much what I'm doing. I'm explaining why I'm just hiding right now.
Don't do it. You're gonna die. Bullets flying everywhere. That's
I don't know what to do.
You get killed in the most gruesome way. Stay down.
Shit. What the fuck am I gonna do?
Mutants will feast on your flesh. Bullets will rip you apart.
Fucking Rory's out there.
That serves him right. The Kinslayer.
No. Don't you dare. Don't you even dare think that way. He is your blood, Robin. Are you gonna stand by and lose another relative to the evils of Warlock? I know you are afraid, but you stand up. You hear me?
It's kind of interesting because the thing that tips him over is the fact that his fear calls Rory, his brother, the Kinslayer. That sort of kicks Robin into, like, that sort of is a bitch slap to him. And it's like, wait, what? Am I actually thinking this? Like, am I actually accusing him? I mean, yes, he is he killed his own cousin. But, like, right then and there, he realizes that, oh, shit, I am actually having these repressed thoughts, and now they're bubbling up to the surface. And now his sort of other part of him that is sort of like, all that's good, and, I guess kind of his courage and sense of integrity, if the other guy is fear. Now his courage and sense of integrity is trying to convince him that, you've got a responsibility. You got your brother. You need to save your brother.
You stand up right now. You're right. I mean, I'm right. Yeah, whatever. Now move it. Okay, main gate.
Now we have a purpose.
My sense of reason pushed away my fear and bitch slapped me back to coherency as I got up and began darting between buildings, determined to get to my brother. I kept to the peripheral region, always making use of tall grass and corners to mask my approach. It reminded me of us brothers playing hide and seek at the homestead, and somehow that only strengthened my resolve. The gunfire intensified the closer I got to the main entrance. If I could just make sure I stayed out of sight. So close, just a little bit further. Hang on, Rory. Big bro's coming.
And then we see the spiders in the street.
Spiders. Exploding spiders. Back off, back off.
They actually exploded and, you know, like a grenade.
As the gate was a stone's throw away, a lull in the gunfire suddenly settled, and I could hear people trying to communicate between the buildings.
Does anyone need help?
It's too risky.
I did it! Just as New Duskar had beaten back the mutants, I had conquered my fear. But my joy was conditional. Where was Rory?
Welcome to hell, friend. Welcome to hell.
Rory? Rory! Hang on, man. I'll get you home. Breathe, bro. Breathe. Oh, shit.
I had to have that fade out. You know, you don't see Rory, although you do see a lot of, like... Hey, let's go back, let's go back. Oh, that was 2022. Okay, interesting. If you go forward here, let's see...
Welcome to hell.
Okay, you see over here, you see, I think these are like mutant dogs that have like, you know, they've killed. And then you have like dead people here. I do think that one of these is actually Rory, because I know he told me that he got killed during this fight. I think he is either here or here. Depends on who I'm running to, but yeah.
Rory!
Yeah.
Hang on, man. I'll get you home. Breathe, bro. Breathe. Oh, shit.
So that was episode 25, Double Trouble. It's one of the better ones that I've ever made. I really like that one because it is an episode that is, you know, I put a lot of effort into that one to show like the various emotional states of Robin. Yeah, just the fact that at the end he sort of conquers his own fear. I really am proud of that one. Because it shows how he confronts his own emotional issues concerning Rory. He like really is confronted with them when he says when his fierce calls Rory Kinslayer, and it's like an accusatory tone, and then it's like, no, fuck that. I mean, he's your brother. You have to save him. Like, so it's literally, you're seeing the emotions warring within him. And I'm really happy that I got that to be, I got it to be displayed in that way. I really like that. So episode 25, Double Trouble of Blood Ties, is always going to be one of my favorites. Even though the first, I want to say 2/3 of the episode is mainly just talking, it is the last third act that is the highlight of that episode. Alright, so that is episode 25. The next time, which I have no idea when we're going to get to it, but the next time we do another roleplay review, we will be going into episode 26, which is titled The Trip, which is a double entendre because it's about Robin dealing with the aftermath of that battle and sort of a healing process of him and Rory sort of reaching each other again. And also it's about a physical trip because Robin is just like, I have to clear my mind, I have to go on a journey. So he leaves Burleyville for a little while. For that episode, he actually leaves Burleyville. And it is also in another way, it's another type of trip because he has his first real experience with some drugs. I won't say anything else. It's a very interesting episode because in that episode, in his drug-addled state, I actually show up. My face shows up in his like, well, in his, when he's completely out of it. It's interesting. So we'll see when we get to that, but it's yeah, we'll see when we do that. Anyway, thank you for watching this. This is always a pleasure to go through with you guys. Like I said in the Super Nintendo Summer episode we did earlier today, I don't know when I'm going to be streaming next time. Hopefully it's going to be on Monday. If it is on Monday, we're going to go back to Ogre Battle and keep going in that game. Because we have no choice. We're going to have to extend Super Nintendo Summer for as much as we can. Next week is also the last week of August, so I don't think I'm going to be able to beat Ogre Battle in that week, so it's Super Nintendo Summer is probably going to be extended into September as well. And it's also going to depend on whether or not I'm going to be able to stream every evening, which I highly doubt. I'm not sure. I would like to keep it going, but it all depends. I have no idea right now. So yeah, that is it for this time. Possibly also that it's it for the regular streams. I don't know. I will keep you informed in the Discord of my thoughts and feelings and aims. No worries, Elder. Hope you are gonna have a good weekend, and I will see you again. One thing is for sure. The next time I see you, I will have started my studies. And that's kind of creepy to think, because, yeah, it's so close now. Play something tiny for a while, something which... No, I have to, like, go through Ogre Battle. I can't wait until next summer to do the rest of it. But I am considering splitting the chapters up, which I had to do with this one now since yesterday. The internet just went down. So I'm thinking from now on I will stream. I will actually set a time limit instead. So I will stream for 2 hours maybe, and then I will, regardless where I am on the map, I will just have to, like, cut it there and then move on the next time. So I think I'm going to be doing that. But anyway, Elder, have a good night. Anybody else, if you want to, you can always check out my Discord, which is here. And that is where you always get the latest news and updates regarding the channel. Please be advised that if you do join, it is highly recommended that you connect your Twitch account with your Discord account in order to get the proper roles on the Discord server. And you do that by managing integrations in the Discord settings. That is it. That is it for me. Next time I talk to you like this again, I will probably be a student at the vocational university in Bromma. Hope you have a good weekend. I'll see you when I see you, and remember to stay safe, mind social distance, and always keep the retro legacy alive. This is EagleBite83 wishing you the best. Have a good night. Goodbye.